Divorce lawyers of Reddit. What's the most outrageous reason someone filed for divorce? To avoid prison. Guy came in saying he was going to be indicted for many things. The list would have been impressive if it wasn't also sickening. So, he wanted to marry his accomplice because he saw on TV that your spouse can't testify against you without your permission, and the accomplice had cut a deal. He just needed to get this pesky marriage to his current wife dissolved. Oh boy, I've been working at a family law firm for 3 years and I have seen/heard some crazy stuff. For example, we handled the divorce for an older man, 70s, because he was cheating and wanted to be with his mistress. 2 years go by, he comes back to divorce the mistress because he's been cheating on her with his first wife. Wife found photos of her husband dressed up as a ballerina. Husband files for divorce because wife does cocaine. He brings us photos of her with coke on her bare boobs. Then admits he took the photos. Then admits he's the one with the coke habit. Wife filed for divorce because she didn't want to relocate to a neighboring state for his promotion. Couple with open marriage both end up jealous and call different law firms and file separate complaints for divorce within hours of each other. She couldn't stand the sight of him anymore. I was in the military at a recovery unit, just reporting in. I heard her saying this to a chaplain while he sat there in a wheelchair. Majority of his skin was covered in burns. 1,000-yard stare, no emotion. My friend's wife divorced him because he wasn't black enough. He immigrated to the US from Eritrea and I guess somehow that's not black enough. Former paralegal here. I worked for a small firm and we had woman come to file a fault divorce and husband was to blame. She filed out the paperwork but didn't put a reason, which we need for fault divorce, you know. My boss and I sat down with her and ran down the reasons. Abusive to her? No, he never raised his hand to her. Abusive to the kids? No, he was a great father. Cheating? No, he was faithful. Addictions? No, he never drank or did drugs. Actually he was, but we'll get to that in a minute. Having sex with you? Yep. Money trouble? Nope. What was the problem? Dude couldn't quit looking at porn. He was a porn addict, but the wife didn't consider that addiction because it wasn't drugs or alcohol. You're probably thinking, what's weird? That seems like normal reason to file, and people probably do. Dude was addicted to goat porn, like farm animals. She brought in hundreds of pages of his porn searches and saved files. It wasn't even people having sex with goats, it was goats having sex with other goats. He also liked to watch mules be bred. It was strange to say the least. We called him the goat, grossest of all time. There was some human and animal stuff, but the goats are what stuck with me. I'm betting he isn't allowed near petting zoos. During their honeymoon, the wife asked for a Gucci handbag and the husband told her he couldn't afford it because he just spent $200,000 on the wedding plus honeymoon. She filed for divorce after their return. Edit. I found the article for proof. I did maybe 5 divorces. I had one client who, after I met her soon-to-be ex-husband, stated, "Do you see how retarded he is? That's why I have to divorce him. If I had known how retarded he was, I never would have married him." The guy fired his lawyer once a month and constantly tried to file obviously fabricated or altered documents when he was between counsel. Eventually, very favorably for my client, we settled since he couldn't find someone to take his case and was looking at felony charges for all the fake documents. I loved that case because it was just such a circus and my client was very reasonable. I had a woman call and say she needed an annulment but couldn't find her husband and hasn't seen him in years. I corrected her that it would be a divorce, not an annulment. She told me they never consummated the marriage, so it couldn't be a divorce. I told her that hasn't been the law in a long time, and she fought me on it. I asked her how exactly she intended to prove to the judge, with evidence, that her marriage wasn't consummated, and that got her upset enough to hang up on me. Friend and her husband got bored in the bedroom, so the husband convinced his female coworker, who was a lesbian, to join in. Friend decided she liked her better and divorced him to be with the coworker. They got married and she eventually left her too for her new male coworker. So yeah, coworker's man. Not qualified, but butting in nevertheless with a story my physician brother told me. His patients tell him everything. One of his patients got divorced because after his girlfriend and he got married, the girlfriend began bugging him about quitting the meds he was taking for depression and anxiety because she should be enough or some such thing. He eventually did. Then later she wanted a divorce because he wasn't the same guy she married. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave a comment and a like.